Good morning students, welcome back to online classes. In this class we are going to do our revision for our four chapters, that is in fractions, integers, fractions and decimals, simple equations, lines and angles. I told you these four chapters are be coming from for your pre-midterm examination, and I have also given 3 mock tests based on the chapters here. So today we are going to start a revision of the first chapter, integers. We know that integers are whole numbers along with their negatives. Like integer starts with, whole number starts with 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. These are whole numbers, and integers are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are positive integers and these are negative integers. 3, 4 and so on here and so on here. These are integers, positive integers, and these are negative integers, and these are positive integers. And in the last class we have learnt that positive integers comes on the right hand side of the number line and negative integers comes on the left hand side of the number line. This is your number line. 0 comes in the middle and negative integers comes on the left hand side and positive integers comes on the right hand side. This we have learnt. And we in this chapter we also have learnt that integers are closed under addition and subtraction, that is closure property. Closure property, integers are closed under addition as well as subtraction. That is, when you add two positive integers, we are going to get a positive integers. When we add two negative integers also, we are going to get a negative integer. And same wise with a minus b, that is I have written a and b because a and b can be any positive integer or negative integer. So when you subtract any two positive integers, we are going to get a positive integer only, and we subtract any two negative integers, we are going to get a negative integers only. So closure property, integers are closed under addition and subtraction. Next it is associative. It is associative under addition and subtraction, that is a plus b is equals to b plus a. It is associative under addition for all integers a and b, that is either for all integers a and b means either the a and b are either positive nor negative. Associative property is closed under addition. Next one is commutative property. Commutative property, see, it is closed under plus c. Commutative property can be done on addition of integers where either a is a positive integer or a negative integer. Next we know that 0 is the additive identity. Additive identity. The meaning of this is when we add or subtract any integer with 0, we are going to get the same integer only. That is either it is positive or negative. When we add it with 0 or subtract it with 0, we are going to get the same integer there. Next, 1 is the multiplicative identity. 1 is the multiplicative identity. We know that when we multiply any integer, either it is positive or negative, with 1 we are going to get the same integer. So 0 is the additive identity and 1 is the multiplicative identity. Next in this chapter we have learnt that when we add two positive integers, we are going to get a positive integer. When we add two negative integers, we are going to get a negative integer. And when we multiply one positive and one negative, we are going to get a one negative integer. When we multiply negative integer with positive integer, we are going to get a negative integer. When you multiply two positive integers, we are going to get a positive integer. When you multiply two negative integers, you are going to get a positive integer, and positive into negative will be getting negative, negative into positive you are going to get a negative integer. Examples for this is when you multiply minus 3 into minus 7, we are going to get plus 21. Plus 3 into plus 7, we are going to get again plus 21. If you are going to get, add minus 3 plus 7, we are going to get, because 7 is the bigger number and 3 is a smaller number, so it will be plus 4. It is minus 3 minus 7, because both signs are having minus sign, so we have to add these two numbers and the answer we are going to get it in the negative integer. These are the examples for addition, subtraction and multiplication of integers, whether it is a positive integer or a negative integer. Next you have learnt that distributive property also. Distributive property also for integers, a into b plus c, it will be a into b plus a into c, means distributive property is also applicable for the integers, whether a, b and c are either positive integer or a negative integer. Next, when we multiply any integer with 1, we are going to get the same integer. Next, for division, like a is an integer, when you divide it with 0, it will be 0. But when you divide 0 with an integer, it is not defined. It is in the reverse. It is a divided by 0 is not defined, and 0 divided by a is 0. We know that a divided by 0 is not defined and 0 divided by a is 0, whether a is either positive integer or a negative integer. And here only these are the main points for your integers. Next is fractions and decimals. We know that fractions and decimals, fractions are improper fraction, proper fraction, mixed fraction, like fractions, unlike fractions, equivalent fractions. And in a proper fraction, we know that numerator is less than the denominator, and in improper fraction, numerator is greater than the denominator, and mixed fraction is denoted by quotient, remainder by divisor. This is the mixed fraction. Next is like fractions. You know that like fractions, that the denominators are same, and unlike fractions, the denominators are different. Next, when you multiply two fractions, 1 by 2 into 3 by 4, you know that you have to multiply the numerators and you have to multiply the denominators and write the answer. This is your multiplication of fractions. Fractions multiplication, if two fractions are given, you have to multiply the numerator into numerator, denominator into denominator and write the answer. If it is an improper fraction, you can change it into mixed fraction by dividing it. Next one is when you want to divide 1 by 2 divided by 3 by 4. I am taking this example only. When division of fractions is given, you have to change this divide sign into a multiplication sign. For that, you have to write the reciprocal of the fraction on the right hand side of this divide sign. So it will be 1 by 2 into 3 by 4. Reciprocal is 4 by 3. See, 2 ones are 2 twos are. So answer is 2 by 3. This is your answer. Whenever division of fractions is given, either division of decimals is also given, you have to change this divide sign into multiplication sign by writing the reciprocal of this fraction. So in division of fractions or division of decimals, you have to change the division sign to multiplication sign. For that, you have to write the reciprocal of the given fraction on the right hand side of the division sign, and then you can do the solution. This is your division of fractions, either in given in fractions or in decimals. and I have told you that this is your division. Next topic is C here. The reciprocal of a fraction is obtained by inverting it upside down. You have to remember this. The reciprocal of a fraction is obtained by inverting it upside down. Means we are writing the numerator into denominator and denominator into numerator. We are reversing this. We are keeping that numerator into denominator, denominator into numerator to write the reciprocal. So you have to write the reciprocal for changing the division sign into multiplication sign and do the divisions. Your next topic is decimals. You know that when you keep a decimal point between the numbers 23.76, when you keep a decimal point between the numbers, it is called a decimal number, and we read it as 23.76. And if we want to write this decimal number into a fraction, we have to write the number 2376 by after point how many numbers are there. So that much zeros are going to come after 1. This is your conversion of decimal number into a fraction. And you know that when we want to multiply when you want to multiply this decimal number into 10, the given point moves one, because 1 0 is there here, so the decimal point moves one place to the right hand side. So the answer will be 237.6. If it is 2 zeros, the point moves 2 times to the left hand side. If it is 3 zeros, it moves 3 times to the left hand side. How many zeros it is having after 1? This side, that point moves to the right hand side that much times. That is for division. If you are going to do it for division, divided by 10, 1 0, so the decimal point moves to the left hand side that much time. So answer will be 2.376. Once again I am repeating myself. When we multiply the decimal number with either 10, 100 or 1000, the number after 1, that is either 10 is having 1 0, 100 is having 2 zeros, 1000 is having 3 zeros. So the decimal point moves, when in multiplication, the decimal point moves that much that much times how many zeros it is having, that much times to the right hand side. And when in division, it moves that much times to the left hand side. This is your simple way for multiplying and dividing your decimal numbers. Next, if you want to multiply two decimal numbers, 2.3 into 4.2, you can multiply the numbers directly and in the answer, see 2 3s are 6, 2 2s are 4, into 4 3s are 12 and 1, 4 2s are 8 and 9. So answer is 966. And you have to count the decimal numbers of these two after one number here and after one number here, means total 2 numbers. So after total 2 numbers, you have to keep the decimal point. Simple multiplication only you have to do it, but in the answer you have to see the decimal point after how many numbers. You have to see both the numbers, how many numbers it is having the decimal point, and you have to keep the decimal point in the answer after that much number of times. This is your multiplication of decimals. If you go for division of decimals, like the same numbers I am taking 2.3 divided by 4.6. If you go for division of decimals, we can write this 2.3 decimal in number into fraction, that is 23 by 10 divided by this one also 46 by 10. Now I told you for changing this division sign into a multiplication sign, you have to write the reciprocal of this fraction. So this will be 23 by 10 into 10 by 46. See, 10 ones are 10 ones are 23 ones are 23 twos are 23 twos are 46. So answer is 1 by 2. This is your answer. This is your division of decimal numbers, division of two decimal numbers. When division of two decimal numbers is given, you have to write the decimal numbers into fraction form. You have to change the division sign into multiplication sign, and you have to write the reciprocal, and then you just have to solve it. This is your decimal. So we have completed our fractions and decimals also. Next comes the simple equations. Simple equations, I told you simple equations, it is an open sentence. That is 3x plus 4 is equals to 7. when I write this equation, when I write this expression, a simple equation should have an equal sign every time, then only it is called a simple equation. And a variable also. Variable meaning is the value that varies. Means we can write any value there here in the place of this variable and to solve this equation. So here when I write x value 1, x is 3 into 1 plus 4, it is 7. See, 3 ones are 3, 3 plus 4 is 7. So LHS, and I to see this is LHS and this is RHS. Every time if it is a simple equation, LHS should be equal to RHS. So here also 3 plus 1, 3 into 1 is 3, 3 plus 4 is 7. So LHS equals to RHS. This is your equation. X is called a variable. Variable, every time it is represented with alphabets, either A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z, whatever it is. And the value of that variable is, the value means variable value is, it can change according to the equation. Here I have written 1, it can be 2, it can be 3, any value it can be written, but LHS should be equal to RHS every time. If it is not equal, then it is not a correct equation. This is your equation. In this 3x plus 4 is equals to 7. To find, here I have written x is equals to 1. I know that 3 into 1 is 3 plus 4 is 7. If you don't know the value of x, if you want to find the value of x, you can write, you can change this plus 4, you can take this plus 4 to the, from the left hand side to right hand side, and this plus 4 changes to minus 4. This transferring of the constant from left hand side to right hand side is called transposition. Means we are changing from place, we are changing this plus 4 place from the left hand side to right hand side. It is called transposing. So it will be 7 minus 4 is 3 and x is equals to 3 by 3, that is 1. We got the value of x as 1. We can find the value of the given equation if it is not given. If it is given, you can directly keep the value of the variable in the equation and you can see whether it is LHS equals to RHS or not. If it is not given, if you want to find the value of the variable, you can transpose the constant from left hand side to right hand side and you can solve the equation. This is your simple equations. Let me see what anything is left in simple equations. That much only. Next chapter is lines and angles. Lines and angles, linear pair. Linear pair means angles on a straight line, means the angles will be 180 degrees. Whether it is divided into any parts, when you are adding, if it, see here I have divided this, I have divided this straight line into 3 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. And I have given you the value of y, y, y and y here. And if I ask you to know whether these are in the linear pair or not. Linear pair means the angle should be 180 degrees every time. So this is 4y is equals to 180 degrees, y plus y plus y plus y, it is 4y, and the value of y is equals to 180 divided by 4. See, 4 ones are 4, 4 3s are 12, 4 4s are 16, 2, 4, 5s are 20. So it is 45 degrees. Means this is of 45 degrees, this is of 45 degrees, this is of 45 degrees, this is of 45 degrees. Means I have distributed this 180 degrees 4 times. So this, all these y's are in a linear pair. I can give you this kind of question also. Next is complementary angles. Complementary angles means if you add any two angles, the angle should be 90 degrees. If it is not 90 degrees, we can say that both the angles are not in complementary. And supplementary angles means it should be 180 degrees. If you add any, just now the example I have given it to you, means they are in supplementary angles. If the angles, any number of angles, if you add those angles, if their answer is which is coming is 180 degrees, then they are called supplementary angles. Next one is, see, linear pair of angles of adjacent angles whose non-common sides are opposite rays. Now vertically opposite angles. Vertically opposite angles. Like I have given two angles like this. This is X, this is Y, this is A, this is B. Vertically opposite angles means X and A. Angle X and angle A, because both are they both are in opposite direction. This angle X and angle A are in opposite direction, so those two angles will be equal. Next, angle Y will be equal to angle B. These two are in opposite direction, so angle Y and angle B will be equal. Vertically opposite angles, angle X and angle A both are equal, angle Y and angle B both are equal. These are called vertically opposite angles. Next one, angles made on the same side of the transversal there. Angles made on the same side of the transversal. Like, see the figure. When two lines doesn't meet anywhere, when you extend these two lines and they go on, when these two lines doesn't meet anywhere, these two lines are called parallel lines. And the line which cuts these lines, it is called a transversal. So L is a transversal and M and N are two parallel lines. Here M and N are two parallel lines and L is a transversal which makes an angles of, see, 1, 2, here 3, here 4, here 5, here 6, here 7 and here 8. These are the 8 angles which are made by the transversal on two parallel lines M and N. You see, the first one is interior angles, means inside angles. Inside angles are 3, 4, 5, 6 because these angles are inside the two lines. So interior angles. Interior angles are angle 3, angle 4, angle 5, angle 6. Because 3, 4, 5 and 6, they are inside the two parallel lines, so they are interior angles. Next one is exterior angles. Exterior angles are angle 1, angle 2, angle 7 and angle 8. Angle 1, angle 2, angle 7 and angle 8. These are exterior angles. Next one is pair of corresponding angles. Corresponding angles. So corresponding angles are angle 1, angle 5, angle 1, angle 5, angle 2, 6, angle 2, angle 6, next angle 3, angle 7, angle 4 and angle 8. These are corresponding angles. Angle 1, angle 5, angle 2, angle 6, angle 3, angle 7, 4 and 8. These are corresponding angles. Next one is alternate interior angles. That is alternate. Alternate interior means inside the parallel lines. Alternate interior angles are 3, 6, angle 3, angle 6, next angle 4, angle 5, angle 4 and angle 5. These are alternate interior angles. That is inside the parallel lines and alternate. The angle 3, angle 6, angle 4 and angle 5. Next one is alternate exterior angles. Alternate exterior, that is outside the parallel lines. Alternate exterior angles. See, angle 1, angle 8, angle 1, angle 8, angle 2, angle 7. Angle 1, angle 8, 2 and 7. They are alternate exterior angles. Next, pair of interior angles on the same side of the transversal. That is on the same side. This side and that side. Angles on the same side of the transversal. That too interior. That is inside the angles which are on the same side of the transversal are 3, 5, angle 3, angle 5, angle 4 and angle 6. 3 and 5 are on the left hand side and 4 and 6 are on the right hand side. These are the all angles on the same side of the transversal. That is interior side. Next one is and you can see corresponding angles. Angle 1 is equals to angle 5, angle 2 is equals to angle 6, angle 3 is equals to angle 7, angle 4 is equals to angle 8. Corresponding angles are equal. 1 and 5 are equal, 2 and 6 are equal, 3 and 7 are equal, 4 and 8 are equal. And you can see 3 and 5, they are on the same side of the transversal, so they make a linear pair. Angle 3 and angle 5 make a linear pair, that is 180 degrees, and angle 4 and angle 6 also make a linear pair. 1 is equals to 5, 2 is equals to 6, 3 is equals to 7, 4 is equals to 8, and 3 and 5 are make a linear pair. 4 and 6 also make a linear pair, and here opposite angles are 1 and 4, 2 and 3, 5 and 8, 6 and 7. These are your angles, lines and angles, and you know that line is a line has no end points, and ray has one end point, and line segment has two end points. Means when you fix the length and make a line, this is a line segment. When you fix one side and the other side, if it can go so on, and we keep an arrow mark, it is called a ray. And when you don't fix the line, that is when you don't fix any measurement for a line, this is called a line. These are your lines and angles. Along with this video, I am going to give you the mock test number 4. That in that all the questions from all these chapters are included. Just try to solve that mock test papers, all the 4 mock test papers nicely, so that you can write the pre-midterm examination correctly. and all the best for your pre-midterm examination. And pre-midterm examination is based on your MCQs only. I am giving the mock test for MCQs only. And if you're having any doubts, you can ask me in the school website, or my number is given. I have created a WhatsApp also. You can ask me any doubts if you're having in that WhatsApp also.